My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
You're unbelievable.
Hey.
Man, I was in a groove. I forgot we were doing a show. I thought I was just listening to my music. What's up?
I needed that kind of upbeat kind of music. Yeah. Yeah. So,
you know what I totally forget about Dice being in the background of that?
What?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Right. What do you forget?
Oh, I just forget that he's in the background of that. That they have him sampled in there. I always forget about that.
You know what? Period. I always forget about.
Oh, what?
You know what I always forget about? Which is what I thought you said the first time. That's what I thought you said the first time. This could be like Who's on First all night. Yeah,
we're falling into a Who's on First on that.
We are, for real.
What's up, Lou?
Crazy week. Like, personally, professionally, and just globally, I guess.
Emotionally, globally.
And globally.
Electronically, and...
My emotions are weird. They're not where you'd think they'd be. At all.
I am just so... I was really pissed off this morning when G and Lizzie got suspended from Twitter. And I even, kind of rage quit a little bit.
Right.
And then talked it out. You were producing last hour, so you heard. I talked it out with Fu and realized, that's what they want. So I'm going to make them get rid of me.
Yeah, but, exactly. Exactly. Suspend me so your stockholders know. And you have to tell them how many people you suspended.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
Congress. So,
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, no, I mean, it's infuriating. It's,
really more focused on
all things considered, I'm pretty chill. But yeah, we're going to be focusing on all that later.
Well, no, I am very happy about their stock falling because eventually that affects everyone. It affects their net worth from the get-go, but eventually it affects them, enough of them, in the right way. I like that a lot.
$5 billion wiped off the table for Twitter, $300 million personally for Jack.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, right, so far.
Yeah, so far. I don't think that's all, right? So, if I was an employee or a stockholder, I'd be very angry with all of them. From the CEO to the director of engineering, I'd be very angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And since, that was, I read a piece in, what was it? From A&I Digital. They're a Indian-based news aggregate, and they did a feature piece on Twitter's lawyer, Vijaya Gode, who was instrumental in the removal of Trump. So, yeah, she's the head of trust and safety in Twitter Legal. She's the one who you always see with Jack when he's,
Hey, did you see her interview with Joe Rogan and...
A few months back, yeah.
Yeah. Joe Rogan and somebody that wasn't Alex... What's his name?
Right, yeah.
See how much I can't even remember his name. Alex Jones? Yeah, Alex Jones.
Yeah. It wasn't Jones. It was somebody else.
Yeah, it was. Interviewing... interviewing... What's her name? I can't pronounce her name, and I'm afraid to pronounce it wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, so, because
I'll call her what's her name.
That'll get you banned from all life.
Indeed. So I'll call her what's her name. They were interviewing what's her name. And what's her name said that the reason that they left the Proud Antifa on Twitter and took the Proud Boys off of Twitter is because, unlike the Proud Boys, Antifa had not been designated by the U.S. government as a domestic terror organization. Guess what's wrong with that statement?
Neither had the Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys have never. She was implying that they had. She believed that they had, and she doubled down on believing that they had. At least once. I think she made them believe that they convinced her for some period of time. Or after some period of time. But she outright said that was the case with the Proud Boys, defaming them. And she was corrected by Joe Rogan. And then they explained to her that Antifa had, guess who is, long after that interview, still on Twitter. All the Antifa. With, not 88 million, but 100,000 followers. Yeah. Yeah, so there is no... Their reasons are merely excuses and not tied to either the facts or the reason that they actually took those accounts down. and have taken and have banned the people that they've banned to a great extent. Pedophiles, I'm going to tell another story. I know we've got stuff to get to, but I want to get this, I want to put this on the air because I want it on record on this podcast. Twitter, still to this day and for years, will, if a pedophile says the wrong thing or shares the wrong, a pedophile hunter, someone trying to get pedophile accounts off of their website, says the wrong thing or shares the wrong thing from their account, they'll get suspended or shadow banned, which is important when you're trying to get people reported. And the pedophile will stay up, and even after complaints and many reports, the pedophile site will still be up, or account still will be up, and the person trying to get it suspended will have been through several accounts. And there's just something fundamentally wrong with that. We're talking about children, the innocence of innocence. But that is the kind of people that they are. They can police political speech all they want to, but not crimes against children. You will be policed if you're speaking the wrong political belief, but not if you're a pedophile.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, and YouTube is guilty of a lot of that too. We are way off. We're just speaking from, we're off the cuff on this one, but YouTube will do that too. There's a lot of pedophile hunters out there who will, like you say, inarticulately say something in a moment when they probably shouldn't have, right, and they'll get completely suspended. But the actual pedophiles themselves are not. Right.
Exactly. And I mean,
you got Onion Son sitting grooming young girls on YouTube all day long and on Twitter. And totally cool. But,
yeah, Instagram is one of the Instagram is one of the hottest places for pedophiles. And it's owned by Facebook. Mm-hmm. If you do it on Facebook, they might crack down on you a little bit more. They're the same company. Can you get away with this on Instagram and not Facebook? It's
yeah. I mean, that's the same thing with. I mean, now that Facebook owns Oculus now too, that's the same thing with VR chat. I mean, that's the huge platform for pedophiles. Oh, and but whatever. But if you have the wrong political opinion, you have a $600 brick on your head.
Right, and okay, I said something that you don't agree with, but that is worse. That's worthy of suspension, but preying on young children on this site is not.
Right.
They're forgetting about Backpage, I think, because eventually they did get arrested. So, but no, they're not afraid. Jack is a billionaire. Why would a billionaire fear his freedom?
Because we have a two-tier justice system.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, anyway, if I keep talking about victims of human trafficking, children, stuff like that, I will get really upset. So let's get to some techie stuff.
All right, let's talk about what the show is about.
Yeah, exactly.
Cyber wars.
Yeah. There's no integrity at any of these places. None whatsoever. Okay, so sorry. I said I was finished. I lied. Now I'm really finished.
Okay. So,
Space Force, my favorite topic.
Space Force, yeah. So, okay, as everybody has been kind of mocking and berating the existence of Space Force, and they can do no right because they were Trump's brainchild, they have now, according to DNI, John Radcliffe, announced today that U.S. Space Force is the 9th Department of Defense component in the U.S. intelligence community.
Yay!
Yay! See, now, in his quote, actually in the quote of Chief of Space Operations John W. Raymond said, "Today we took action to elevate space intelligence missions, tradecraft, and collaboration to ensure the success of Space Force, the intelligence community, and ultimately national security. This is a significant milestone and a clear statement America is committed to a secure and accessible space domain.
Okay, so
this accession reaffirms that our commitment of securing outer space as a safe and free domain for America's interests." Against whom?
Well, that is a very
China or the FM signal coming from Ganymede?
Both, and Russia, because they always had space technology. But let me put this in tech speak, okay? Because this jumped to mind. But this is why they were. This is the backstory on why they were moved to the or added to the as an part of the intelligence community. This is how the conversation went. Sir, we don't have the permissions to do that. What permissions do you need to do that? We need the intelligence community permissions. Okay, well, I just moved you to intelligence community permissions. Right? That's like, I don't have the permissions to do
That's
that.
That's exactly how it happened.
Exactly.
I can't do that. What do you need to do that? I need this. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Exactly. I need to be an administrator to do that. Okay, you're an administrator.
Right. We need a we need a position, in the Joint Chiefs. Okay. Yeah, so they are the 8th Department of Defense element in the U.S. Intel community, joining 17 other IC members, including the NSA, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NRO, and elements of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Air Force.
Yeah, and I would imagine that it really is something like that. To be, to be completely serious, they needed to handle a certain type of intelligence, classified information, reconnaissance, a specific way. It's basically gives them all control over all their own intelligence, right? Like,
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing the thing that really jumped out at me in this story is that this has been hinted at since June of last year, in the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, that was actually introduced by, wait for it, Adam Schiff.
So he's not completely useless.
No.
Yeah. There's some lobbyists wanted this, that whatever. A lobbyist friend wanted this or something. How
do we get more spy satellites up there? Well, NASA, Musk isn't going to take them, and we don't really have a good payload delivery system in NASA anymore because we shit can the shuttle program. I know. Let's get Space Force in on that shit.
Yeah.
So, there you have it.
Yeah, I think definitely it was about them needing to be able to do things that they can't already do.
And I'm going to put this into nerd speak. We have just witnessed the formation of Section 31.
Right?
So, all right. No, actually, that's really cool, though, because it's giving some gravitas and some legitimacy to Space Force, more than they've been given credit for up to this point in the last few years.
Yep. I think so. So, there's a new back door.
Giggity.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead. You dug this one up. Oh, wait, I dug this one up.
Yeah, you did.
We're talking about the sunburst backdoor from SolarWinds.
Yeah.
This one just does not go away.
Yeah.
So,
did I lose you?
No. I just had to mute for a second. I had something in my throat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it won't go away. They keep finding new stuff.
Yeah. So, if you remember, the SolarWinds Sunburst malware attack was the probably most damaging, most widespread attack against the U.S. government, U.S. Central Command, Finnish work, Pentagon. It was a huge embarrassment. So it's looking more like the malware deployed during the supply chain attack shares features with a method done by Turlo, which is an APT known as venomous bear and water bug, they've been coordinating information theft and espionage campaigns going back to 1996. And, it has features that overlap with the Kazur.net backdoor.
Yeah, this won't go away. And this is, okay, so we've been talking about this for a while, and something that I wanted to point out is how we've now gotten to Turla, right?
Yeah.
And where we started. We started with Fancy Bear, or Cozy Bear, which is worse. And now we've gone all the way to Turla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when everybody was attributing it to Fancy Bear, and we were like, hold off, this doesn't even feel like Russia because supply chain attacks are not their thing. Mm-hmm. What they've done is like you said, now we're in Turla. Venomous Bear is the least known of the Russian APTs. They've been around the longest, but they are subtle as fuck. They're the scalpel, not the machete.
Right.
So the fact that this has been a waiting game forever, I'll be honest, I completely forgot about Turla. I really did. When we brought up the story, I had to go to FireEye and research him because I had forgotten all about him. And these were the ones, like I said, back in '96, that they were all the, they were the Billy Badass of the Russian APTs.
Right.
They were one of the first.
Right.
So, but it has similarities to it. They're not absolutely attributing it to him yet. And even in the article on Bleeping Computer, they're talking about the potential of deliberately introduced false flags.
Oh,
and that's coming
you don't
from
say. Yeah. And remember, Kaspersky is Russian, and not as much that they would, that they would defend them as they would know them,
right?
And understand them. So, I'm not dissing them and saying they're defending Russia, which I'm not saying they're not either. But I can see where they would know them a lot better.
Yes. Yeah, so, I mean, that, this is down at the third paragraph, but it's in bold-faced, bold font. Potential of deliberately introduced false flags. So, but, it was Kaspersky that actually has been on top of this from the beginning with Sunburst. So,
it's all really fascinating to watch it because it was, whoever it was different enough for them that, and I think it was different and new enough in general. Kind of like, well, not like Stuxnet, but some degree of that. A smaller degree of that, right? I mean, it's a really interesting.
And the fact that among the, if you look at the mainstream media, they're still talking about, Russian attack. Okay, looks like it. We've evolved on that on the show. But on the other hand, the attributions just keep shifting. It's like, okay, we're almost 100% sure that this isn't Fancy Bear anymore. How about Cozy Bear? Well, okay, yeah, maybe. Then the next week, well, nope, not Cozy Bear either. Venomous Bear? Yeah, this looks like something they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So,
which is, why I was saying the first time we talked about it that attributions take time, and don't, why are you trying to do it so fast,
right?
Kind of thing. But I mean, I understand that people are foaming at the mouth, but they can get over it.
Well, yeah, and I think the reason why they're keeping this in the news, not just because Orange Man bad and Russia collusion and everything else, it's because they don't want it to go all Vegas shooter. Where the investigation took so long, people have forgotten that there was an investigation. And very few people are still going, so whatever happened with that, guys?
Right.
So,
yeah.
they don't want the sunburst to drop off the map, because it isn't, as much as right now the left is pretending that they love the government and they love the intelligence community.
They love their government. They love their government when they're doing
it. So they want to keep this as a sort of Damocles embarrassment over the Trump administration because he allowed it to happen. Well, anyway.
Yeah, and for tangible punishment as well. I mean, I do believe they want real tangible punishment.
Yeah.
Out of him. I mean, he'd be in jail right now if they could make that happen. I've never seen so much vitriol in my life. But whatever.
Yeah, so the internet was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't
when it gives
disagree.
us jobs.
I don't disagree, but I'm glad they thought of it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save us, Elon Musk. You're our only hope.
I actually have a bit on that I hope I don't forget in the next piece we're going to do.
In the DDoS?
No, in the internet being a bad idea. In the next section that we're going to do. It's funny that you mentioned it. But yeah, so the DDoS. The DDoS. Okay, so I did come up with this one. All right, so as is our habit, this is what happened in 2020 or what changed in 2020 or look at 2020. It sucked. And on top of it sucking in general, DDoS attacks spiked. Which, I mean, they had really dropped, so people were kind of like, glad that's over with. Nope, not over with. They're back, and they're more complex. So, one of the
Not just more complex, but they're bigger. Okay, let me rephrase that.
Bigger. They're bigger and more complex.
Most of them are smaller than they've been in the past. I mean, you're running less than a couple gig a second, definitely less than a terabyte a second. But AWS is also reporting, Amazon Web Servers, we'll be talking about them later too, they have been reporting up to a multi-terabyte attacks, multi-terabyte per second DDoS attacks, which is just enormous.
Right. And we talked about it at least once on the show, and it was about one of these attacks, and I don't remember what they did some infiltration or a hack at the same time or something, right? I don't remember which one it was, but yeah. So yeah,
and this is definitely attributed to everybody staying at home, not just bored fame fags who want to do their thing, but because there is so much more internet traffic, it is easier, and also because everybody now has their Internet of Shit things, it is easier to do these surgical and giant blunt force DDoS attacks, sometimes simultaneously, attacking from multiple vectors.
Yeah. Yep. And it's crazy. This doesn't say anything about the exfiltration of data during it, or a hack and data exfiltration during a DDoS. But
no, this is just basically the DDoS themselves and how they're up.
The technology of the attack itself. But that was something that we saw this year. So, and the reason that I bring that up is when I look at all this work, I'm like, it's just disruptive, right? It doesn't get you anything. There's no espionage. There's no, valuable data. You're just bringing somebody down. You're just being a nuisance, unless you take them out, which that was one thing that we saw. They're getting strong enough to cause damage, or the fact that they're getting stronger. So that, that makes sense why you would put that much effort into making the DDoS better.
Well, when we talked about it in the past, it's the can opener and the spoon. The DDoS is the can opener, then the infiltration-exfiltration is the spoon. It's the misdirection. Look at this DDoS while we're sliding in on another vector to sit in your shit.
Yeah, we're already in your shit, and we're going to take it, and we can't obfuscate ourselves, so don't look over here. Right. Something like that. Right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, in 2020, financial services saw an increase of 222% in DDoS attacks, education sector 178% jump, and internet telecom sector saw a 210% jump over 2019.
Yeah. And they had been, like I said, they had been down, or been down from previous. Or from years ago, back when, you used to get on the internet and find a website where you could DDoS something, and stupid people did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but this goes into the whole hacking as a service thing, too, where, as that's expanded, then it allows you to buy I keep saying multiple attack vectors, and that's true, is that, if you really want to get into something, if you really want to exfiltrate something, if you really want to drop some malware, do your thing. With malware as a service now, you can hire yourself a DDoS, .NET, or, whatever you want to do, botnet, and,
yeah, you could buy it.
It's just like hiring mercenaries.
Yeah, you buy it off the dark web. You can pay somebody to DDoS something. I mean, that's a great way to not be a hacker. Just pay somebody else to do it and be a hero, but you're not a hacker.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get all the fame fag with none of the risk.
Still a pain in the ass thing to do, right? I mean.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But you want to hit a break before we come back? Because we got a lot to talk about with the tech coup and everything.
Might as well.
Might as well?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
Sure there's going to be some finger snapping music going out.
No, it's not finger snapping tonight. It's chill.
Chill? All right.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For JD Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new signature wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mix with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
There's coke in the Myers touch, a joke in the way that we rust and breathe again. And you'll find lows, and you'll fear what you found. When the weather comes up, tearing down. There'll be oats in the water, there'll be birds on the ground, there'll be things you never asked her, or how they tear at you now.
You're right. That was chill. I needed that going out. That's good stuff. Oh. Can I hear you now?
No, they can hear me now, though.
Alright, cool.
I found the button eventually.
Press the button, Nell. Yeah, no, that's that was some super... I needed that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really good song. Like, if I could get that song to loop over and over and over and over again, I'd go to sleep to it at night. Like, it would put me to sleep.
And you know what? I'll have to check on one of the services. I'm sure there's a 10-hour loop of it somewhere. There's a 10-hour loop of everything. So they probably have a 10-hour loop of that out there, too. But yeah, that is just so...
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could do that. A 10-hour loop of that song to sleep would probably work, at least for a week. Right?
You know what? Okay, so one of my things I've been doing lately, Jeff and I have been sharing them back and forth, is reaction videos when people hear a song for the first time or whatever. And I found one the other day, and it's a musical composer reacting to songs. At first, he was doing just Tool by itself. And he did his reaction to 46 and 2, and he listens to everything as a composer would, or even, you know, when Maynard's singing, that's just another instrument in the band. So, but everybody was telling him what you got to do is there's this foundation that had these kids do 46 and 2, and if you go find that on YouTube, I can't remember the name of the foundation right now, but it's Kids Sing 46 and 2 by Tool. And they had his reaction to it, and his reaction actually had me tearing up because it was just like, you know, he's like, this is music. This is the purest form of music. You know, because these kids, they're into it. They're not they're not doing it for any other reason than to do the song. And, you know, it was just, it's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so that Ben Howard thing too, that gets me like that too.
But Klimt?
Yeah, if I get for Klimt.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a moment, you know, talk amongst yourselves, here's a topic, the Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman. Discuss.
Talk amongst
Anyway, alright.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
We're back.
God damn, the fuckery on the internet this week.
It covers everything, right? It's losing your infrastructure. It's losing your spot on the public square, and it's losing your gateway to the internet, right? So, I mean, right now, Donald Trump is on Clout Hub. Right now, I have no leftists listen. Yeah, I have no leftists listen and know that now because I don't know that they know he's over there. What did you say?
No, I said, is he on that now? That was surprising. I didn't know that he went over to Clout.
So I didn't ask anybody at Clout Hub if that was him because it pretty much looks like it's him to me. If not, they're doing such a good job of imitating him. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So anyway, and I also don't want to get hammered over there by people that are mad at me because I spoiled it for them. He's doing a really good job if that's not him.
Right. So
yeah. So there's a lot going on.
So, okay. In case you've been living under a rock on Mars with your fingers in your ear for the last 4 days, Twitter banned Donald Trump's account, his personal account. And at the same time, he was going over to Parlay, whatever. And at that point, Apple and Google said, if you don't put some restrictions on your terms of service, we will pull you from the store. You have 24 hours. Well, they already had those restrictions in place, so they didn't know what the fuck Apple and Google were talking about. So they pulled their apps from the store, and AWS said, Amazon Web Services said, we're going to pull your web hosting if you don't comply within 24 hours. Again, Parlay is saying, what the fuck are you talking about? We have these in place. They pulled them from AWS, so now they have no home right now.
And this would be really great if we ever found out if this is true or not. But first of all, I just like to say I would bet that they saw a bunch of screenshots and half of them are fake. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Lori.
No, go ahead. No, not only are half of them fake, but also those people had already been suspended.
Oh my God.
So, once again, if the reporting of Glenn Greenwald is accurate, that all of this brouhaha and the Capitol last week wasn't planned on Parler, it was planned on Facebook.
Yep, I did hear that.
Facebook isn't getting their web services pulled. They're not getting their apps pulled from the Google and Apple store.
You know who's going to pay Parler? Probably everybody. Because of the very last fact in the stack that you just gave me. It was planned on Facebook, and they had been suspended on Parler.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's pretty simple. I mean, it's very simple.
If accurate, that's a lawsuit.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Nobody waited for the facts to act. In this whole thing, no one has waited for a single fucking fact to act. And I'm, by the way, saving my cuss words for very important occasions for my New Year's resolution. So that was an emphasized F word.
Now, I said this from a political standpoint. I said this on FUBAR. We do have a crossover of listeners, but not everybody listens to both shows. Take Trump out of the equation for a minute. You have big tech deciding to deperson a sitting president of the United States. Now, people will say, well, he still had the official POTUS account that he could... No, he didn't. He made 4 tweets. They were all deleted by Twitter, and he was locked out of that account. So you have big tech deciding who the rightful and legitimate government is of a country. This has caused Mexico to speak out and go, that's wrong. Germany allegedly has said that. The opposition party in Russia has said that, because opening that can of worms has given Putin the ability to go to Twitter and say, you need to silence my opposition.
Yeah,
they're a terrorist organization.
UK prime ministers are tweeting about it as well.
Yeah. So ministers of parliament. And as Jeff laid out in chat too, Japan, Germany, Italy, and Russia are all shook that this was big tech that did it, and they haven't been able to do it for years. So
well, think about the
you have big tech you have big tech not only acting like a government, they are acting like the Uber government.
Okay, so think about what it teaches the rest of the world, the precedent that it sets for revolution. Think about it. Every leader everywhere should be scared to death right now. Not of what happened at the Capitol, because that happens already. All the time, everywhere. But what happened with big tech, because as far as I know, that's never happened before. The closest we came was when the same companies did something very similar in Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't remember, during the Arab Spring, Egypt shut their internet down. So that way, the news couldn't get out. What's to stop Google from doing that anywhere? Or Amazon Web Services doing that anywhere? Twitter, Facebook.
Well, and none of the ISPs have tried to cut anybody off, but the left is certainly calling for that. That would cross yet another Rubicon. And if you look back over the past, how long has it been since? Well, okay, since Wednesday, so almost a week. The number of times a Rubicon has been crossed. Just in the past 5 days.
Yeah, this line, it's serpentine, Babu. It's just running everywhere. You can't hit it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, let's do it, I guess, in order of what happened. The first thing that happened, you've already said, the president got kicked off Twitter, and it has snowballed from there. Besides now, this is the elected leader of one major political party of two, right?
Mm-hmm.
And half of the country, 50% of us, they coordinated. I'm going to say colluded or conspired, but coordinated to shut him off from communications where those people follow them. He got 70, however many votes. He's got 88 million. He has 88 million followers. So, I messed that all up, but you know what I mean. The thing. You know the thing.
The thing.
Anywho, yeah, they cut him off from people that voted for him, journalists that follow him, leaders in other countries, and he's got over a week in office. He's got, right? Over a week, like 9 days now, 8 days. It's mind-blowing. It blows your mind. But then, all the websites went down. Except for CloutHub.
Yes. Well, I don't know about mine, but, Parler went down.
Wednesday or Thursday night. One of those. I think Thursday night.
Yeah. Parler, and Wednesday night, Parler was completely jammed to the point it was unusable. Gab was completely jammed to the point it was unusable. Weemy was getting jammed. Minds was getting jammed. I mean, you could still, going top to bottom, it was Parler, then Gab, then CloutHub. Working your way down of likelihood of where Trump would go. People were signing up everywhere. So, there was a lot of traffic. But not all of that traffic can be accounted for.
Well, yeah, I mean,
some of it,
been a lot.
Some of it looked DDoS too.
Well, DDoS are up, I think, just right now. If the numbers that I saw were right, they're up since the election, and they're up since Wednesday, just in general.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could definitely, I would imagine, and we talk about KLRN, right? And it doubled after, it increased before the election. It was doubled by after the election, and right now I just don't even want to talk about it, actually. So,
right.
I mean,
and we haven't seen this kind of traffic since we created the site, and we used to joke about getting hit from Russia a lot when we were talking about the APTs then.
Right.
God, that's 18 months ago. But yeah, so.
Yeah, we were talking about APTs and building a website. That's probably not really smart, but we did it anyway. Yeah. So, Parler, as we said, got kicked off of Amazon. They are going, it looks like, to Epic.
Oh, let's talk about that for a second real quick. You have, and this should give everybody a moment of pause, you have the largest web services provider on the planet, picking winners and losers as well. And not only has Parler been kicked off, but so has AR15.com. GoDaddy kicked off AR15. But GoDaddy uses AWS.
Right.
I think.
Do what?
I think that GoDaddy uses AWS too.
They're partnering somehow. They probably use some of their infrastructure or use them for an infrastructure, right? I mean, you don't even have to have your own infrastructure anymore. You just do it through AWS, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean just to give you an idea of, right now you're unable to log into our chat via Facebook. That's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, we don't know why. But we'll let you know if they cut us off. It would be interesting. Since, I mean, not that we're not great, but who notices us?
Yeah.
Except for the people that hack us in Facebook.
Right.
I'm just saying. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're involved in it, necessarily, but I'm just saying. Anywho. Yeah, so Epic has already been terminated from PayPal, right? I mean, maybe they're reinstated, but they were terminated from PayPal in the past because they hosted 8chan and Gab.
Sure.
They took the Daily Stormer on, which we know is RBAC and Weave, and they are Nazis. Epic doesn't care. Their founder is Rob Monster. He doesn't look like a monster, but his name is Monster.
It'd be so much better if it was Kyle Monster. Anyway, that's a meme. So
it would. Well, maybe he named his son Kyle.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So we talked a few weeks ago, and this is what I thought when AWS cut hosting for Cloud Hub or for Parler. That remember the episode where we talked about, it was like 3 or 4, that malware as a service and other malware groups were having to retreat to Iranian servers.
Uh-huh.
What if that's what happens with social media? Where if you're not Facebook or Twitter, you have to go to Iran to get on the internet.
So they've already had to move. I mean, people have already had to move overseas, but I mean, if something that significant had to be housed offshore because of the U.S.'s human rights practices. China's going to have a ball at the UN talking about that. Right. I mean...
And here's something else that popped into my head. Why isn't Proton Mail setting up web services? This would be their bread and butter right now.
Yeah, I mean, it really would. It really would.
And it's Switzerland, so... But yeah, Belize, fire up some server farms.
Well, there are absolutely web hosts in Switzerland that will host for you if you're here. And there's absolutely no reason that they can't find a host in another country.
Right.
Not that I know of. I thought Epic was not a U.S. company, but it is.
Huh.
Well, the CEO is an American anyway.
I can't believe I'm advocating taking social media hosting offshore.
I can't believe that it's a topic of conversation, really, at all, for the reasons that it's a topic of conversation. I mean, this shouldn't be happening.
No.
It shouldn't be happening. I mean, the activists going after people is something you expect activists to do, but their employers and, employees at random companies that do business with them. And, I mean, this is pretty horrible stuff. Right, so database carriers or database vendors and other types of third party and second party vendors that they were using at Parler are also leaving because Amazon is leaving, right? And you've got to think that there's pressure being put on people behind the scenes, right? I mean, there has to be. Do people just on their own say, I'm going to ban you too? I mean, mob mentality and all, but do people think that way? Well, I'm going to ban... Oh, God.
Yes, they do.
I'm going to ban you too because somebody I like is banning you. Yeah, I guess people do think that way.
Because the internet was a bad idea.
Right. Well, and there's two things going on, or two ways to approach the situation, right? So you say to yourself, I'm not doing business with them because I don't like what they believe in and I just can't do it, right? The other one is I'm going to force everyone that I can possibly force to hate these people and ostracize them. What person do you want to hang out with? Which one of those two people that has those different feelings do you want to hang out with?
The former.
Right? Why do you want to... How do these people even have enough friends to have influence to do shit like this?
Well, I mean, back so long ago, when Google and Facebook and Twitter, the most recent time, had to appear before, I believe it was Commerce, and they got grilled about cross-pollination, where, the teams at Google, Facebook, and Twitter were collaborating, and they all vehemently denied it. This was exposed this week. They can't deny that anymore. Because they're the same people with the same ideology.
Right. Which is it's frightening, not that, they have minimal power. Dorsey is worth $13 billion. It's not that much.
No. That's what Musk spends on coffee.
Yeah, probably. And Probably so. So, I mean, he didn't. The fact that he's a pathway to so many eyes is the only power that he has. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I hate this, and I think it goes against everything that the internet was created for. I almost forgot to do this bit, Ordy. It goes against everything that. So, did you ever think when the internet was created? You people don't know. Some of you do. That when we were younger, there was no internet. I was very young, but still, the only information that we had access to is what a very small number of people wanted to feed us. The newspaper, the television, and the radio. The very small number of people pitching information. Magazines, still a relatively small number of people. Now we're opened up to a world of what everyone says. Good and bad.
Okay.
But this control is crazy. This is exactly why the internet the World Wide Web was created the way that it was, right? So the web that we look at, the interface, as the browsers, it was created. Yeah, go ahead.
The freest, most democratic distribution of information in the history of mankind isn't now. And Jeff kind of beat me to the punch in the chat. It was during the BBS days.
Yep.
And if you're young, you don't remember the bulletin board system, where the only barrier to knowledge you could find was how much you were willing to pay in long-distance calls. Because you could dial up a BBS in Texas and get Texas. You could dial up a BBS in Belize, in UK, wherever your modem would take you. If you knew the phone number and the BBS protocol, you could, there were chat back then in those days too. So that was the golden age of the internet. You can talk about AOL and CompuServe, but even then, it is because of them that 230 protections were created that led to what we see today. Government picking winners and losers to the point where the government no longer likes their Frankenstein monster. Well, right, let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
The government coming into power loves the Frankenstein monster they've created. The one going out, not so much.
Yeah, half of the government. No, and the only reason that the Democrats like him right now, at least a lot of them like them right now, is because of what they just did. Because they banned Trump. They got, support from the Democrats. Maybe, well, never mind. I'm not going to, spin a conspiracy.
We're not going to, that's a juxtaposition topic.
Right. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll have to do that.
Right. But, one thing, and I forgot what I was just going to say when I said but.
Damn it. I hate it.
Damn it!
Well, I'll start talking about the hacker and you'll think about it.
Okay.
So Paul,
go for that.
Paul also got hacked by a activist hacker, right? So we talk about APTs and we talk about different kind of hacker groups, and I've talked about the air quote activist a lot, or at least a little. She's just I think trying to make a name for herself, but she's acting like she's found a treasure trove. She got into, so as you know, Paula's on AWS. You can have resources in folders that that people can get to from the outside. You know, they left a folder open. And she got in there, which you still have to have a little bit of skill to do, right? She got in the folder and got all of the deleted files out. So they had been on Parler's site, and we already talked about earlier how many people had gotten suspended, how many of the writers had gotten suspended from Parler.
Right.
This was like deleted posts and suspended accounts, or posts from assets from suspended accounts, or something like that. This is all deleted stuff. She says it's really incriminating videos and stuff like that, but they've been public at one time. She thinks that she's just a researcher and she's not going to get prosecuted because it was a public bucket. I don't understand that part of it. I'm like, girlfriend, you're about to get busted. Because you might have pulled out something juicy, but Amazon's not going to like it that you hacked.
Right. I mean, you may be going against, what Amazon considered a thorn in their side, but you still exposed a vulnerability, and Amazon's not going to like that.
Right. Yeah. And the vulnerability was known. But that doesn't give you a right to go in there and get it. Doesn't mean it's any less illegal. The CFFA is all about this. CFAA is all about unlawful use, right? So if you're not supposed to be, you don't have permission to be in that folder. It's like trespassing, right? It's not as serious as a sophisticated hack, but it's not legal. So she thinks she's not in trouble, I think, but she is.
Unauthorized use of a computer system would be the actual charge.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to come up with.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's dug out all this trash bin material,
mm-hmm.
and the videos that are posted in it, she's actually able to pull metadata out of that have the location. Basically, it's a lot of doxable material.
Yeah, it would be a lot of doxable material, more than anything, right? Because what she's got in there was public. They were deleted or suspended, and it's not going to be news to anybody. But
right. I mean, it would have been something that they could have pulled off their feed if the account was still active, but the only way that she had access to this was to go into a deleted materials folder to get it. So
right, and she wants Gizmodo to give her server space so she can put it all on the server, but, I mean, if she puts it up there with the metadata on it, people get doxxed. Gizmodo would get sued.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, not to mention if AWS actually does want to raise a stink about it being hacked materials, then
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Gizmodo doesn't want that heat.
Well, I would hope not, but right now, would you be surprised at anything?
No.
Yeah, right now.
Maybe the level of dumb and self-dick stomping that's going on. God, half the world just put a whole roll of quarters into a dick punching machine and stepped right up. Yeah, they'd do it.
Yeah.
And then they'd find themselves being Gawker, but...
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by it, right? Nothing can happen right now like that would surprise me. Not at all.
If I woke up with my face under the carpet, I could not be more surprised than if I... Sorry.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they're dropping a whole stack of Bitcoin into the dick punching machine.
Yeah.
That meant more last night than it does today.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so she wants to post all this material because she got a fuck ton of it, and we'll see.
Yeah, it was 3 terabytes. She claimed it was 3 terabytes.
Yeah. Something like that. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, wrapping up the night, because we are way over. We started late, but now is as good a time as any to really reinforce hardening your digital footprint. I talked about last week how that's my New Year's resolution. I've ordered my YubiKeys. I've got my Ledger. Moving everything to Proton Mail and things like that. Now's the time to patch your shit and take a good look at your threat profile. How are your social media passwords? How much personal information have you put out there? Did you put your driver's license up on Parler? Things like that.
Yeah, did you do you have 2FA set up on things that could really compromise you, like your bank accounts and things like that?
Yeah, I have gone. I've settled on going with a software 2FA with a hardware 2FA backup. Meaning you can't get into the software 2FA without using the hardware 2FA. So it's not a matter of if you're paranoid, it's a matter of if you're paranoid enough.
True. Yeah. That's pretty tight, but layered security is the best security, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll say it again because I got asked today on Discord, what about VPN? Yes, use it. But again, if you don't want to get fiddly, if you just want out of the box, turnkey, Swiss Army knife, I still promote Norton for your one solution out of the box thing.
Yeah.
If you want to go other route, if you want to be more fiddly and more in control, LastPass, YubiKey, Ledger, Malwarebytes, Proton Mail. You get the Proton Mail with their VPN, and just really, really, really cover your ass. It's a pain in the ass, but that's the world we live in. We talk about every week how Company A, Company B, Company C was breached. Just, they're not protecting you. You need to protect yourself. It amazes me. I was thinking about this the other day. The same people who have a whole bunch of guns in their house for their protection use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for their password.
Yep.
So treat your digital life the same as your real life. Treat it as seriously.
Yes, you lock your front door. Absolutely. I also, as far as protecting yourself, I've seen an email going around that looks like a phishing email. It's coming from Newsmax, targeting conservatives. So just keep your eyes out for that kind of election-related phishing. Watch out for that.
Yeah.
What else you got, Ordy?
That's pretty much it. Also, one thing that the Twitter thing has proven, spread yourself out. Spread your social media presence out so they can't silence your voice entirely, and reinforce your networks. Make sure you have people that you know on Minds that you knew from Twitter or on CloutHub or Gab or Discord or wherever it is you go. Keep your networks tight. So that way everybody knows what's going on, even if they're dispersed amongst. Well, that sounded a little seditious, didn't it?
No.
We here at KLRN do not support sedition.
No, it didn't. It sounded kind of preppy. I mean, prepper.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But
Yeah.
Another time that you use that kind of advice? During
emergencies.
Any kind of disaster or emergency. These are good.
Now, I'll tell you this all the time. This is the same thing as wearing it as a bug out bag. Have another social media to go to.
Right. Have it in your bug out bag.
Yeah.
Russia has a social media. I hear they're very welcoming over there. That's just what I hear. So, translation.
In Russia, social media posts you.
That's funny. That's good.
You got anything else for us tonight?
I don't think so, unless I forgot something. If I did, it probably wasn't that important.
I forgot a lot. We had a lot going into tonight, and we were kind of moving all over the place. But, to sum up, watch your back. I don't know.
To sum up, watch your back. Patch your shit.
Patch your shit.
Patch your shit.
So,
and, we love you. We appreciate you letting us vent tonight, because we kind of felt it. Because this censorship thing runs... It's the antithesis of the internet. The internet is about freedom. It pretty much always has been since hippies discovered it, which was pretty much BBS.
Yeah, since Al Gore invented it, it was about freedom.
Right, because Al said so. He said he was super serial. All right, and with that, we're out.
We are.
Good night. Stay super serial, people.
Hey, where can people find you this week, Lou?
Oh, okay. All right. So, you can catch Aggie tomorrow night at 9, and you can catch the girls from the Red Wine Wednesday at 9 behind the scenes, but, whatever. And back here with you on Monday at 10. How about you?
I'm on, I'm on Robinson and Wright on Wednesday because Dan is still essential and not real. I will be pre-recording Culture Shift with Brad earlier in the week for Thursday's broadcast because he's going off to a political thing, and then back around with you and Fu next Monday night. They can find me on Twitter for now. They can find me on Minds, Cloud Hub, and MeWe if I can find my password.
Well, that sounds good to me. We'll see you here next week, guys. We love you so much. Be safe out there. Good night.
When you say you always have to